Hi, it's Jan Beta, and this is the follow-up video to the Commodore 64 black screen repair. I will link that in the corner. And this is the board I repaired. It had a broken MOS multiplexer logic chip on the RAM chips there. And yeah, I poked around a bit and broke the trace, and you can watch the video basically to see it. But long story short, this works. I am going to do my usual routine on this, that is replacing all the electrolytic capacitors and heat sinking some of the chips. You can see how I do this in my future-proofing video, Commodore 64 future-proofing, which I did a while back. What I'm also going to do additionally is to replace the voltage regulators and the rectifier, bridge rectifier. That is this guy here. I'm going to replace all of this, and I think I'm also going to have a go at the modulator, but you saw that before, so I'm going to fast forward that a bit. So all the caps are replaced on the board. I have to do the modulator still, but I'm gonna do the bridge rectifier first. And I bought these here, which are a lot bigger. But I think, oh, they aren't that much bigger. A little bigger. They can take a lot more oomph. So I think I'm gonna replace that, because these H. Wow. Okay, there we go. Desoldered it. Some wiggling later. So let's see if the other one fits. Yeah, okay, the pin pitch. It's not exactly right, but I think are going to fit it in there. Yeah, and it's not flush with the board, but that's okay. I think I tried to point it a bit away from the fuse there. But yeah, it's gonna do. So now let's replace the, okay, it's a bit at an angle, but yeah, it should work just fine. Absolutely fine. So let's replace the voltage regulators, I guess. And I could replace at least the 5-volt regulator with some switching regulator. Maybe I'm going to do that at a later point, but for now I'm just going to use good brand regulators that I bought. These are 2 ampere versions with the S. The other ones are 1 amp, I think, the original ones, but yeah, won't make any difference, except maybe these last a little longer, I suppose, but I don't know, I'm not too sure about that. Okay, 5-volt one. I'm gonna remove the heatsink, otherwise we have to heat the whole heatsink. Okay, regulators replaced. Oops, sorry about that. So regulators replaced for beefier ones. Some new thermal compound so it doesn't get that hot. Or at least it dissipates the heat somewhere else, which isn't a bad idea. And oh, there's a cap we left. The 100 microfarad cap that we left there. Now for the regulator, the modulator. Oh, all these ators. Haha! And it's Mitsumi. There are many ones that are branded Commodore, but I guess they are the same. And I'm gonna remove this. Put my tag in there. As usual. So it's going to fit in there. Going to. Okay. So this appears to be still working, and the picture, again, as with all these recaps I've done, gets a little bit crisper. And yeah, the colors look a bit brighter. So it's very, yeah, it's recommended if you have a bad picture, recap these things. Yeah, not too bad, I'd say. So let's get some heat sinks in. Okay, got some pretty nice heat sinks on. Did some more than last time I did this because, yeah, it won't hurt. And add some more in stock. I still have some. These are quite cool, so I like them. Yeah, let me show you what I came up with for the case. Something special, actually. So apparently I got one of these, which is a replica of the Commodore 64C case from the original molds. And yeah, I'm going to link in below. You can buy these for not quite so much money, and they come in this box that looks a lot like back in the day, these boxes. And you can get different colors, beige, Bradbin gray, which I got, SX64 style, which is gray, and two different grays, I guess, and black. And I think they turned out pretty nicely. But I haven't really looked inside yet. I peeked inside for a bit, but I haven't looked. So let's unbox this together, shall we? Okay, here it comes. Ta-da! There's my address on there. I'm gonna hide that. Oh, look at that. And it is the color of the Bradbin. So you can also get joysticks. That's why there is such a big compartment here. Nice. Here's a little fold-out user guide, which is of course, yeah. Oh, it's not a 5mm LED, but a 4.6mm LED. Oh. So okay, let's get this out. I think this goes like this. Okay, so here it is, and it looks pretty nice. It's the original molds, so it's exactly the same like the old Commodore 64C. Yeah, excuse me. This is quite special, I think. It's made from the molds were rediscovered in some factory, Commodore factory, and yeah, they basically used them, and they even went through the effort. Oh, there is the screws for the case and some rubber feet. Quite convenient. They even went through the effort to license the original Commodore logo, so it's, yeah. And yeah, of course, this was never, this is the bread bin color. Let me show you the bread bin. This is the original case, and it's really, it matches the color pretty closely. So I think they spent quite some effort to get the color just right. And it is definitely, it is the bread bin color. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is to not bother repairing the old case that had all the broken off hinges and stuff. I'm gonna put it in this case because I have this, and yeah, it's basically the first Commodore 64 I repaired since I got this. So it's going to have the honor to inhabit this new case, which is brilliant. I love this. And the quality of the plastic is pretty good. It's much better plastic than the original, I think. It feels pretty stiff and sturdy, and it has some weight to it, which the old plastic doesn't have. Nice. Really, yeah, this is pretty nice. So let's put it in there, I guess. And of course, it should just fit in there, which it does. So I think I'm not going to put all the screws in yet, because I have some other plans for this as well. This is kind of strange. This is new, and the screw holes feel new, but it's a Commodore 64 case, so yeah, it's pretty strange in a way, but the nice kind of strange. And this one. So then I guess I want to take care of the keyboard part. This is in there sturdy enough. But look at this, it looks as if it's made for this, which it is. So, brilliant, I love it. I love it. This is great. So this keyboard looks pretty nice, so I'm just gonna unscrew it and put it in the other case, I guess. And what I need in order to do that is some standoffs that I luckily got. I got some original Commodore 64C standoffs, which should fit, of course, because yeah, it's made from the original molds, and the keyboard had the same form factor, so it should fit this. So I'm probably gonna try to repair this case in another video, I guess, because it's otherwise quite a nice case. So there we go. Wow, this is quite clean underneath. Normally you get a lot of dust in there and stuff. This is nice. And yeah, how this one. This one. So turns out I had to bend this one a bit. So it's gonna sit like this here. Okay, this feels better. And I hope it's a bit crumbed in there, but maybe. Okay, so let's see if the whole thing closes up here. Yes, this looks pretty amazing. This looks very, very, very stylish. So, for the LED I have something else planned. Of course, I always have plans. Let's test it at first before we do any further work. Okay, turning it on. And there we are. So I tested this for a while and it works flawlessly. What I'm going to do is to put one of VWAC's switchless kernel switchers. It can take 4 Commodore 64 kernels, and you can switch them by pressing restore, which is very convenient, and you don't have to drill holes into the case, which I of course don't want for this new case. So it's an ideal solution to have multiple systems on here. And I have done that in another video, so I'm only gonna show the process very briefly. I will link that video in here, and you can watch that. So got the kernel switch thing assembled and the little pig is programmed. So I'm not very fond of these screws, by the way. They feel pretty cheap, but I guess they aren't. At least they fit. Probably same quality as the original Commodore 64 screws, which weren't very good either. So, but I'm not gonna open this that often, hopefully. And our kernel isn't socketed. So I'm going to have to socket the kernel. And I have some 24-pin sockets. So let's get this all apart again and desolder this. So time for a brief test. If I turn it on without any strings attached, I was about to say that, without any cables and stuff connected, it should just default to the standard ROM. Let's see what it does if I turn it on. Yeah, and there we go. That's our standard ROM. So the soldering work was successful, at the very least. That's not a bad sign, I guess. So let's go on and make some connections and connect an LED. So for the LED, I bought one of these 5mm square LEDs, and this is an RGB LED. It's a bit too large for the case, so I had to file it down. I used some sandpaper. And now it will probably fit in here. It's a tight fit, yeah, but it will go in there. I'm gonna connect the cables first. So to determine which of the leads is for which color, you can use a multimeter. And I'm using some colored pens here. I don't have a green one, so it's just gonna be black screen. So you put this into diode mode, basically, and there's a common cathode, which is the longest one here, in this case. So, and then you just go through the other leads here. And the blue one is pretty dim. So there's our blue, red, green. Blue one's really dim, so yeah, but I guess it will do. So it's gonna get more volts from the actual pig than it gets now, so it's probably gonna be a tad bright with green and red. So okay, let's mark this. So blue lead. So blue lead. So basically, I forgot again. So that's our blue lead. That's our red lead. Red. And the other one is the green one. I wouldn't even have to mark that, but I'm marking it black. And the longest one is the cathode, which is the negative. Or ground, whatever you want to call it. So, or the same in this case. Okay, testing, and it flickers, and it's a red LED, and we still have our desk lamp and our normal ROM. So let's connect the reset and restore lines. So the restore line, which is the green one in our case, I'm going to connect to R41 on the side to the board, because that's where the restore key, basically it has its own pin, and that's where it goes. Wow, that's some pretty crap soldering. Okay, that's okay, I guess. Okay, and I'm going to solder the reset pin directly on the processor, which is on pin 40, which is the pin in the top right corner there. And there's a little, I'll try to show you this. So I don't really know if you can see that, but there's a little trace from the top right corner there going to this little pad here, and that's where I'm going to solder this on. And I'll at least try to do that. Alright. It's pretty good. Yeah. Could of course put pin headers everywhere, and yeah, basically I don't have enough. So I'm not gonna do that. Let's test it, I guess, before we put it back together. So I try to get this all into the picture here. Connecting some juice. There it flickers briefly, and there's our system. And now I'm going to press restore. And I can basically switch to Jiffy DOS and switch to Exhaust. And what's the next one? Switch to Datel. So this works. Let's put it back together. Nice. Okay, so this seems to be a finished Commodore 64 restoration, new case, project, repair thingy. I'm going to try this thing now. And yeah, turned out pretty nicely, I guess. So then I'm going to try to show you the switching part here. Looks pretty nice. The LED is pretty bright. That's alright. Absolutely love it. So by the way, this is Galencia, and it just came out this year. So yeah, that's amazing. So if you enjoyed this, give it a little thumbs up. It always helps with the YouTube rating. Subscribe to this channel, there's gonna be more like this. If you want to give me some support, which is of course highly appreciated because I don't have an awful lot of money, there is a little link to my Patreon page. And as you can see, I'm usually better at this game, so yeah, can't really talk and play at the same time. There is a little Patreon link in the corner there, and there's also a PayPal link if you click on my little Jan Beta logo in the bottom right corner there. Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And hopefully see you again sometime on this channel. I'm Jan Beta. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Die! Die! Insects, die!